Hi guys, thanks for tuning in. In this video, we're going to look at what equipment you need to do a triathlon and where that equipment could potentially come from. But before we dive into the main part of the video, please hit the subscribe button, notification bell if that's what you want as well, but more importantly, the thumbs up. It helps us grow as a channel, it gets us further up in the rankings within Google, and it just helps us, like I say, grow and produce the videos that you're asking us to do. Anyway, the equipment needed for a triathlon, and we're assuming you that you are new to the sport, or you're a relative beginner to the sport. You may have a background in one or some of the disciplines, but not all of them. So you're seeking information, and some of it's alien to you. Triathlon is expensive. You could drop thousands of pounds on a bike tomorrow. You could drop hundreds of pounds on a wetsuit tomorrow. But it doesn't need to be expensive, and more importantly, it doesn't need to be confusing. People love to overcomplicate the sport, but if you pull it back to its very basic components and elements, triathlon can be straightforward. So from an equipment point of view, there is a sort of bare minimum that you can get away with within the sport. Anything beyond that is an added benefit or an add-on that you may need or you may not need. It depends on you and personal preference, but more importantly, it depends on budget. So let's go through the disciplines. You've got swim. So from a swim point of view, all you really need is your swimming outfit and your goggles. And the outfit will probably be some form of swimming costume, trunks or a swimsuit, and then whether you wear a wetsuit over it, and that will depend on the race. You know, if it's an open water swim, chances are it'll be a wetsuit race. But again, that'll depend on temperature as well. Race organisers will tell you all about that in the race pack. From a bike point of view, you need a bike, a helmet, the clothes that you go into cycling, and the shoes that you're going to cycle in. Don't need much else. From a run element, you need the clothes that you're going to run in, and you need the shoes that you're going to run in. And some of that may be the same as what you cycle in. So you may decide to cycle in the same shoes, so you won't be clipped in and you just using normal pedals. Or you could wear something like a tri-suit for all three disciplines. Personal preference is going to be up to you, but what I would say is practice before race day in your kit. That's the only way you're going to get used to it. Like I said, all of that is the bare minimum that you need, and you can add various things like GPS watches, race belts, fancy sunglasses, the works. But it'll come down to what you can afford, what you have access to, and what your preference is. So don't be afraid to go bare minimum if that's what you want to do. You know, I don't think anyone will look down on you. There's plenty of people out there who have bikes worth thousands of pounds, but they don't know how to use them, or they don't work on the main part of triathlon, which is the equipment anyway, which is you. You know, you're the engine, you're the one that needs to be trained and get to a point to be able to use this fabulous new equipment that you may have bought. Um, but before we go to where you buy the equipment, it's important to sort of understand what equipment you want as well, and whether you are happy to buy second hand or not. So you need to understand what your budget is. If your budget is unlimited, brilliant. You know, go out and buy all the fancy stuff. But if you are on a bit of a tight budget, you need to try and work out, one, what you have access to already. So if you've got a bike, is it suitable to use for that race? And it may well be. There's plenty of people that do their first triathlon on a hybrid bike or a mountain bike or some form of road bike, which maybe they've borrowed off a friend. And that brings me to the next point is what you have access to, but then what can you borrow from friends and colleagues or family? You know, it's what you have access to and what can you get to. The next point then is, if you don't have access to anything, are you happy to buy second hand, or are you happy to go for a lesser model? So you're not necessarily buying brand new and you're not necessarily buying top of the range, but you know, if you can buy second hand, brilliant. My first bike for my first triathlon, second hand bike from eBay, cost a few £100. Same with my wetsuit, probably cost less than £100 from eBay. And you take a bit of a risk with it, but there's you know, as long as you maybe got access to people who can tell you if that's good or if that's bad, or maybe you have that knowledge already, or you can take it to a local bike shop. all these things can add up. Then if you definitely need something, you don't want to buy brand new, obviously there's online shops and there's physical shops that you can go to. Triathlon shops, there aren't many of them that have physical stores, but there's plenty of online presence out there. There's plenty of shops online which are part of bigger shops as well. So in the UK, you've got Wiggle, you've got Decathlon, Amazon will sell certain aspects as well. You've then got local bike shops which have branched out in and doing more triathlon gear as well. So again, it's about what you want to do and what you've got access to. The one thing I would say is you're going to need to probably try and get measured for a bike so you understand what size you need. It doesn't need to be a full bike measurement, which can cost a lot of money, but a local bike shop will help you. A local bike shop may help you get a second-hand bike as well, so don't be afraid to use that aspect. Same with a wetsuit. Wetsuit sizing is so difficult to understand. It changes from manufacturer to manufacturer, same with the bike. So it's probably good for you to go to a store if you can and try on a couple of wetsuits just to try and work out what you need and just to get some advice from someone who's regularly fitting wetsuits on clients, just to try and understand that. Anyway, guys, a little bit of information which hopefully is not overload. The video is not about telling you what you should buy and what brands you should buy and what piece of equipment you should buy apart from the bare minimum. It's about giving you the questions you need to be asking yourself to make informed decisions. Anyway, hope that helps. Like I said, don't forget to like the channel, reach out on social media if you want us to do a specific video in the future, but it'd be great to hear off you. Cheers on.